Okay, it is recording. Okay, so thank you guys. Thanks for everyone for joining and being on here. I really appreciate it. I'm first just going to introduce one of my good friends, Dr. Tanda Cook. She is a naturopathic doctor, and she's also an Arbonne brand ambassador. And so she is just going to talk a little bit today about Arbonne nutrition and also just like nutrition in general. So I'll let her take it away.
Awesome. So thank you for organizing this. And as always, I can talk about this until I'm blue in the face. And so guys, I'm not going to take questions live, but if you have questions, don't be shy. You can either just message Danielle and then she can email them to me, or you can email me at tanda@drtandacook.com or find me on Facebook. But I don't want to discourage questions. I'm just not going to take them live. So if you have them, write them down and get them to me. So my intention for this call is to give you all a very brief overview of how Arbonne's 30 Days to Healthy Living works, why you would do it, who would benefit from it, and what sets it apart from other programs. And then some of my favorite food pearls, tips, and tricks to help you along the way. And it really should, I'm going to show it on you, really should stay with you through this journey as a human, right? And so just so we're on the same page, as many of you know, naturopathic physicians are trained as general care practitioners, and instead of becoming experts in prescription drugs and medications, we become experts in getting to the root cause of disease using alternative therapies like homeopathy and herbal remedies, lifestyle coaching, IV therapy, water therapy, and then have a lot of hours in the training around food and nutrition. So, as many of you can imagine, as we graduate from naturopathic medical school, we have an enormous toolbox in terms of how we can treat people and dis-ease. And just how the way universe or God has worked with me, I have found my expertise specifically in food. And I'm not, as many of you know me, not about counting calories. I'm not about dieting. I'm not about fads. I really want to teach people about food and how it affects our health positively or negatively, because many of you have heard me say we are not plants. We do not photosynthesize. As I know many of you wish you could, it would just make things easier. We have to consume things from the outside world to make our bodies run optimally. And I believe that we are also omnivores, which we have to consume a variety of things from the outside world to make our vessels go. And if you're putting junk in, you're going to get junk out. It's just the way it works. So when you set your body up with the right information, only health and vibrancy and vitality can show up. Now when I say information, I'm not just talking about food. I don't want to give the misnomer of like, if you have a perfect diet, you're going to be in perfect health. That's not the way health works. Health is as Danielle and I talk a lot about all of the spokes of health, your financial health, your health with your environment, your health with your job, your health with your relationships, your health with connection to spirit, your health with food, right? So I'm talking about one of the spokes today, but I want to be really clear that health is a lot of things outside of food. And so what does that word actually mean, right? I feel that disease is very easy to define. And then when I ask people to define health, they usually come at me with, oh, it's the absence of something. So it's like, oh, I don't have a headache or I don't have back pain. And which is totally a great place to start. But I was asked this question in medical school, and here we are, a room full of 120 medical students in the world of health and wellness. We're all becoming naturopaths because we really want to get to the root cause of disease and learn how to add health. Now, we're third year in med school. Our mentor asks us this question, and the room went silent. We didn't really even necessarily know how to define it. So to hit my definition, my personal definition of health home, I start by asking the question of how do you light a dark room? Now, it is not a trick question. And people usually say they turn on a light, they light a candle, they open a window, they use their iPhone. The point is, there's no anti-darkness machine that you hooked up to the side of the room and like, ta-da, there's, light. You had to add something, and you had to physically do something to add light, because with light, dark cannot exist. And this is how I view health and disease. With health, disease cannot exist. You guys, I'm going to say this again, and it sounds sort of silly and maybe simple, but really think about this. When there is health, disease does not show, it can't show up. And health is the body's homeostasis, which I also understand is a sort of a geeky eighth grade science word, but the body innately wants to be in homeostasis, and it's doing everything it can possible every single second of the day, whether you're sleeping, waking, eating, moving, thinking, having anxiety, whatever, it is doing everything in its power to keep you homeostatic. So health to me means balance and freedom, because when you set the body up under the right conditions, it will hold on to what it needs and it will let go of what it doesn't. And that, so you are free. So that's balance. So then you are free to go out and do you, like be who you were meant to be or are meant to be, and create the life that you can create. So Arbonne came in to my life in 2010, and how I teach Arbonne is like Arbonne's a school. How I teach Arbonne's 30 Days to Healthy Living, I teach it from that standpoint of like, Arbonne is here with the 30 Days to Healthy Living to give you the information of what's working for your life and what's not working for your life, so that you have choice around bringing in balance, and then having choice when you want to bring in out of balance, right? It's like, it's all a consciousness game. So Arbonne found me in 2010. I had never heard of it. I was not familiar with network marketing. I sat down with Lori Muirhead, who is one of my BFFs and also one of the Flip Flop CEOs. And I learned about the business model, and I started looking deeper into the products, and I was really impressed with Arbonne's philosophy to cure, safe, and beneficial. And that these products were being formulated to add health, right? To add light to our life and our busy lives, and to give our body the information to put your best foot forward. So then the 30 Days to Healthy Living was launched in 2011. And as a naturopathic physician, I was very, very skeptical. And I remember being at the global convention in Vegas, and I was sitting in the nosebleed section because I was a brand new consultant. And they launched the 30 days, and they're like, the protein powder, the Jumbotron, right? And I was like, I should probably just leave now. Like, I was so skeptical. I was like, there's no way this company I'm going to agree with what this company is formulated. But then as I'm, trying to sneak out of the MGM, they start talking about the importance of digesting your food, that you're not what you eat, you're what you absorb. They started talking about the importance of whole foods. They started talking about elimination diets, probiotics, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free products. And I was like, okay, just kidding. I'm not going to leave the MGM. So I sat back down again. And what I discovered that day with Arbonne was that the philosophy around the 30 Days to Healthy Living was exactly in alignment with me as a naturopath. So some of the big take homes that I heard that day, and I continue to hear and teach, is number one, with the 30 Days to Healthy Living, is focusing on whole foods eating, which I was already teaching as a naturopath. Number two, avoiding the inflammatory, that's a new thing, inflammatory and triggering and addictive foods, specifically gluten, dairy, soy, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine, for at least 30 days, which I was already teaching as a naturopath. Then number three, which is focusing on the importance of absorbing our food. And Arbonne said it perfectly. We are not what we eat. We are what we absorb. Now, very briefly, because this could be a whole 4-day seminar on digestion, but why that's important. You think you put something in your mouth and your body's going to get all that information. That's not the case most of the time. Why? Because our gut microbes matter, and the balance around that, because they help us break down and absorb our food. So if they are out of whack, we are not absorbing our food properly. And then stress has a huge impact on digestion. Again, very quickly. Why? Because if you see a tiger and you want to survive that tiger, your body doesn't care about digestion. Your body cares about what? Running from that tiger. So it shunts all the blood from the digestive tract into your muscles so that you can physically run from that tiger. Now, in theory, if I was in the jungle and I see a tiger and I run and then I survive the tiger, my nervous system should put me back into that rest and digest state. And then I can digest the hamburger that I was just eating before I saw the tiger, right? The problem is that most Americans or Westerners are running from proverbial tigers literally 24/7. So do you think your digestive tract is actually working optimally? The answer is no. So when Arbonne said, like, look, we understand that most Westerners have a stressed out nervous system and that affects digestion. Let's make these products highly absorbable so they're getting more nutrients from these products. So then number 4 philosophy around the 30 days to healthy living was that the products were formulated to help the organs of digestion. So, or the organs of elimination, sorry. So one of the other things that I am, sort of committed to and sort of borderline addicted to teaching is how your body naturally detoxes. And because when we think of the word detox and cleanse, we usually think of extremes like cayenne pepper, olive oil, and lemon juice. And that's not what Arbonne is about. What Arbonne is about is supporting the organs that naturally detoxify because, like I said in the beginning, balance with health is you consume something, your body holds on to what it needs, and then lets go of what it doesn't. That's balance. And it lets it go through the kidneys through urine, the GI through feces, the lungs through breath, and the skin through sweat. So that's balance. Again, the problem is most Westerners, based on our lifestyle, are not supporting those organs of elimination properly. So then junk, our body is not able to get rid of, I don't like using this word, but like lack of a better way of communicating it, doesn't like to get, isn't capable of getting rid of toxicity. So then it just builds up in the system and your body is dealing with a lot of distraction with the levels of toxicity in our body. So again, Arbonne's products are formulated to support liver, GI, kidneys, skin, lungs. Yes, all of those guys. So then number 5, the analogy that Arbonne spoke of was the analogy of the bathtub that I was also taught in medical school, which is, when you turn on the faucet of a bathtub, you have the drains, and the drains in the body are the organs of elimination that I just listed. But again, just for sake of argument, most humans are not supporting those organs of elimination or the drains of the body. And so that stuff just continues to build up. And then it just becomes a glass of water or a bathtub that's overflowing with junk and your body isn't able to get rid of it. So then you experience symptoms. So symptoms are is the body like, excuse me, like headaches, PMS, hormone imbalance, hypothyroidism, fertility issues, thinning of the hair, thinning of the nails, I mean, the list can go on and on and on. That's the body going, hey, please pay attention, like something's not working. And if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. So the toxicity continues to build in our body, and then we inevitably will end up with some sort of diagnoses. And where does the body not want to put toxicity or this junk? The last place the body wants to put toxicity is in the vital organs, because they're called vital for a reason, like the brain and the heart. So the body also came up with a super awesome plan. Other than warning you with the symptoms, that is the plan, by the way. It said, let's create an inert place that we can store and protect the vital organs from these certain, especially fat-soluble vitamins, fat-soluble toxins. So it created adipose tissue, which is essentially bubble wrap for fat-soluble vitamins. Oh my gosh, fat-soluble toxicity, and AKA fat cells. So when I see people gaining weight or the inability to lose weight, you better believe that toxicity is one of my number 1 places to look. And again, if we keep doing what we're doing, we'll keep getting what we're getting. And then the toxicity in the fat cells will keep building and then triggering chronic inflammation. And I mean, honestly, like, if you guys just Google chronic inflammation, it will blow up with all of the diseases and symptoms associated with underlying chronic inflammation. So what do we do when we get caught in all of this? So before Arbonne came into my life in the 30-day plan, I was seeing all of these patterns in my patients, and I was telling them to avoid all of at least starting with food, right? So avoiding the triggering and addictive foods like gluten, dairy, soy, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine for at least 30 days. But what I was finding is that when I would look at my patients and tell them that, they would look at me like, great, Tanda, how are you going to help me do that? Right? Because that sounds really scary and really overwhelming. And it was like I was pulling the rug out from underneath them. Now, Arbonne is the rug. It's the toolkit to hand to people to say there is a doable, simple plan to put the cereal down, put the pasta down, put the pizza down, at least for 30 days, again, to give your body a chance to clear the smoke out of the room, to take a break from these foods, to say, you know what, gluten might actually be affecting me in a negative way. Now, this program does not focus on what you can't do and what you can't eat. It focuses on what you can do and what you can eat, and empowers you around food. The other thing that I have to acknowledge, the field, like all the Arbonne consultants that are doing this, have created Facebook groups and Instagram stories. The social media support that you guys have created is phenomenal. It's really, there's no excuse not to do this. And it's not about forever. It's not about that you can never eat pasta again. It's about pressing pause. It's about waking up into how food is affecting you, because it is, positively or negatively. And as I said in the beginning, it's about eating consciously and living consciously, because this is not a perfection game, it's a progression and consciousness game. So very quickly, how does the program work? So for at least 30 days, and I encourage people to do it for 90, there's a vegan protein powder that serves as a complete meal replacement. I highly encourage people to add food to this. So add stuff to your shakes, like greens, avocados, nut butters, things like spinach. Good job, kale, this morning, Danielle. And then, berries, berries are fruit in season, but please add food to your shakes, because and even spices, and I'll go through some of my favorite things to add. So you have the protein powder. It does not contain whey, which is dairy, or soy, or gluten, because they have the potential to trigger inflammation. And you can have one for breakfast, one for lunch, one for a post-workout meal. And then there's these flavored fizz sticks that you add to water that can serve as a soda replacement, a coffee replacement, or an energy drink replacement. They're formulated with chromium and B vitamins to help support the blood sugar and your adrenal glands. There's then a detox tea that I drink 1 to 3 times a day to support the liver and the kidneys. Again, toxicity. There's the probiotic, like I said in the beginning, supporting our gut microbiome again, if you guys Google microbiome, it is one of the keys to health, because the bacteria that line our gastrointestinal system help us break down and absorb food. They help prevent certain diseases. Out of balance, they will create certain diseases. They play a key role in our immune system, and we're just beginning to discover the importance of our gut microbiome. So taking a probiotic on a daily basis is essential for health. Now, the Digestion Plus that Arbonne creates really needs to stay with you. The detox, all this stuff, in my opinion, should stay with you for your life, the Digestion Plus needs to be taken every single day. Like, until you're not breathing anymore, I want you to take the Digestion Plus. There's a fiber supplement that is crucial for detoxification, because fiber acts like a sponge for toxicity. It also feeds our gut microbiome. And then there's the New Body Cleanse, which is really great for supporting liver detoxification and rebuilding and restoring the gut. And then you can get the greens, which you can add to your shakes, just to boost your consumption of fruits and veggies. And then you can end your day with a whole foods based meal. Like, if you're an omnivore, you can do, roasted chicken and salad and roasted veggies. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, you can do, portobello burger and a bunch of greens and coleslaw. So it's about setting you up to win. I can't stress this enough to you guys. Like, it may sound challenging, and it may be, but this program is to set you up to make you feel the best you have ever felt, so that you can get clear about who you are and why you were put on this planet. I love talking about food, but you know what I love even more is figuring out, without all of the symptoms in your life, without gut dysbiosis, without back pain, without being worried about hypothyroidism, without worrying about hormone balance. Like, if you're distracted by that every day, guess what you're not focusing on? Like who you are and what you want. That's the conversation that I want to have with you, and that I want you to start having with yourself and the people that you love. And like have the conversation, like if you could do anything and be anything, what would that look like? And then whose lives would you change? And it starts with saying yes to 30 days that will transform your life, because it creates consciousness about what is going in your mouth and how it is affecting every single inch. So speaking of things going in your mouth, I just want to give you guys some of my favorite things in the 30 days and beyond. Some of my favorite foods to add. So the lemons or citrus in general help the liver detoxify. So I typically do a lemon in like I'll do a fizz a day, and I'll squeeze a lemon in there. Beets are incredibly high in antioxidants and phytonutrients. Avocados are a really, really great source of healthy fat. So either eating them in your whole foods meal or adding them in your shake or both. Asparagus has an affinity for the kidneys. Pineapple, I know, is high in sugar, which people freak out about, but occasionally it's really high in bromelain, which is a enzyme that helps with digestion. Dandelion greens, which in theory are in season soon, but now that I'm looking outside and there's a million feet of snow on the ground, they'll be here soon. But dandelion greens have an affinity for the liver and the kidneys and help detoxification pathways. Cranberries also have an affinity for the urinary tract system. Blueberries, as many of you know, super high in antioxidants and phytonutrients. You can easily add to your shakes. And then the Arbonne Detox Tea, in my opinion, should not leave your cupboard, and that this is 30 days to transform. And ideally 90. Do 90 days to transform your life so that you can feel awesome and live life awesome. And I was asked the other day, why Arbonne? Like, what sets Arbonne apart? And I was thinking, I was like, yeah, the protein powder, rah, rah, and the probiotics, rah, rah. And I started diving into all of the products, and then I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I kind of zoomed out 30,000 feet. And I was like, what does set Arbonne apart? And in my opinion, it's this. Because this program, yes, it is a physical program that you can do and see results. But how I teach it and how I understand it is the intention behind it. And the intention and message behind it is to wake up, to live an extraordinary life because you can and you deserve it. Now, whether this is doing the 30 days to healthy living or using the skincare or making a life with a business or all of the above, the message is that I get is to live how amazing you are. Live big, love big, laugh big, share big. This program stands for a lifestyle makeover. It is a true paradigm shift. That the 30-day program isn't about thinking that you're going to be tortured because you can't eat bread. That's not the point. And while that may be the case in the short term, it's about creating breakthroughs. And sometimes breakthroughs are, you know what? Every time I've had a breakthrough is because of doing something uncomfortable or challenging or even scary. So if you hear yourself saying there's absolutely no way that I could do fill in the blank, then there's all the more reason to do it, because there is a transformed, awake, light, and fabulous you on the other end. And as there is no destination with life, I do believe that every step, I invite you to get out of your comfort zone. So there was, I was reading this book, and there was this about, how, human psyche and how people get stuck and how to unstick people. There was this blurb on that there was a sweepstakes agency, and they were giving away 100 free trips anywhere in the world, and the winners could go, you could go anywhere. Like you could go to Paris, Patagonia, explore the pyramids, Fiji, like whatever, wherever. And 95% of the winners picked destinations within 4 hours of their house. Now, most of us are missing out on really big things because of fear and excuses. And I really want this to be one of the things that you're not going to miss out on based on fear and excuse. And let this be one of your big things. Again, whether it's doing the 30 days to healthy living, switching skincare, or doing the business, I really so wildly passionate about food, but I am way more committed to giving people and teaching people the tools to live an extraordinary life because we deserve it. So thank you. If you guys have questions, shoot them to Danielle or email me, Tanda at drtandacook.com, or find me on Facebook. And hope that was helpful.
Oh my gosh, that was so helpful. I honestly, I took like a full page of notes. It's like, honestly, when I think that I know everything and I've like talked to you so much, I always learn something new. I just am so thankful. Thank you for taking time out of your day and just to pour into us and just to teach us more about nutrition. I hope everybody at least learned one thing. And I really just appreciate everything. I know that you have a very busy day, so we can take it from here. I'm just going to finish up. But thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Love you guys. Just shout if you have questions.
Okay. Hi. Thank you guys for just joining, and I promise I'd keep this very short. And I like learn something new every time I talk to her, and she's just like, what an incredible woman she is. But like, I want to thank you all for being here. And I know some of you may be wondering like how this fits into your life. Like, how does it fit into my lifestyle? How am I going to do this? How, like, my life looks so busy. The great thing about this is that the 30 Days Healthy Living program that she was talking about is so flexible, and it is so individualized, which is the one thing that I loved about it. I have a very, very busy life, and we figure out the ways to like fit it in. And there's 2 ways to go, the 30 days, which Tanda talked about, but then we also have an amazing thing called our breakfast club, which is just basically having like a smoothie a day, and then you eat, the same way, or mindful of what you're eating throughout the day. Both are just an awesome start. We have another 30 Days Healthy Living program starting next Monday, and I would love to see you guys join. But I just really, more than anything, thank you guys so much for being here. The person that invited you here, which I think was all me, I'll like text and call you guys. And if you have any questions, please don't feel free to ask. And if I know for sure, if I don't know the answer, I know people that do, and I can help you. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks, guys.